Hi, everybody. I hope that you're well. Today's topic, I'm going to be discussing what I have learned after 12 years of intermittent fasting. Now, if you haven't done so already, take the opportunity now to become a YouTube subscriber to my channel. Just go to my page and hit that red subscribe button. I thank you in advance for your support. Now, let us get to our topic of discussion, intermittent fasting. Fasting is one of my favorite topics, and I decided to do this video because I haven't seen a lot of content or seen studies on long-term intermittent fasting, and I thought to myself, hey, I've been doing this a while. Why don't I share my testimony and my journey on intermittent fasting? Those of us who are part of the religious community, fasting is basically a part of our lifestyle. Fasting has been around for thousands of years. This is nothing new. It's kind of like the health community just discovered it. But it's been around for a long, long time, and I've been practicing fasting for decades, for a number of years. And I just want to share what I've learned and the improvements that I've seen and the benefits really of intermittent fasting. Now, I'll do throughout the year maybe 2 or 3 really long fasts for religious purposes during holy holidays. A long fast in my book is maybe 8 to 20 days, no food, no solids. Some fasts I'll just go water only, but that's rarely. But I adopted the lifestyle of intermittent fasting about 12 years ago. I was in the Caribbean, I was in Aruba, and I just noticed how they ate there. They ate their largest meal, like midday for lunch. And I began to eat the way that they ate. And I'm like, hey, this really works for me, eating, my main meal midday, eating a little something in the morning, my main meal midday, and, something very light just before, it gets dark, and then I'm done. And I noticed how well my body responded to that. And I said to myself, I think I'm going to be doing this going forward. And I just kept at it for like the past 12 years. So I'm going to share some things that I've learned along the way. And one of the first things that I have learned is that intermittent fasting is okay for women. I have read a couple of studies, and I've seen some content and some other videos with people who are basically saying that intermittent fasting is not healthy for women, and that it could mess up our reproductive system and hormonal, throw our hormones off track and cause all types of other issues. And for me personally, I have not seen any of those things with myself. I have not experienced any reproductive issues. I don't have any reproductive issues, no fertility issues. Don't have, irregular menstrual cycles. Don't have any hormonal problems. If anything, the fasting or the intermittent fasting helped to regulate all of this stuff. A lot of the studies that are on intermittent fasting have been done in rats. Many of the studies have been done with men only. And I think it's okay for women to fast. I think we should fast. Women have been fasting for thousands of years. As I stated earlier, this is no new thing. I will say there's one caveat to this. Is one word of caution to all of this is that, and that brings me to my second point. What I've learned about fasting is that fasting has helped me to listen to my body, and we all should listen to our body. And I've learned that there are basically 2 different types of hunger. From my decade-long journey of fasting. But I think women in particular, we should definitely listen to our bodies. And for me, those 2 type of hungers basically is there's the first type of hunger where, okay, it's just my body responding to not eating at the time that it's used to eating, is my gastric juices going and giving me those hunger pains and telling me that I'm hungry. But I know that there's reserve in my body, there's fuel there, and I can keep going. And after a while, after that time frame eats, because I eat at certain times of the day, I'm not hungry anymore, and I could just keep going. So I could go day 1, day 2, day 3, and I'm perfectly fine. And I feel like there's fuel in my body and that there's reserve there. The other type of hunger is the hunger that none of us should avoid, especially women. Is the hunger where you don't feel like you have that reserve, and there is no fuel in your tank, and you're feeling unwell and you're feeling kind of sick. That's when you should stop fasting. So I basically learned to discern the two different types of hunger that I get. There's the hunger where, okay, I can keep going and it's just my stomach acting, just doing what it does because there's no food in there and it's sending signals to my brain, you're hungry. But there's fuel in my body. And the other type of hunger is basically, okay, I need to nourish my body type hunger. So after years of fasting, I've learned to discern the two different types of hunger, and I know when to break a fast and I know when to keep going, but that takes time. But women, we should definitely, if you're feeling hungry or just too famished, definitely eat and break your fast. But I think fasting is okay for women. I'm fine. I've never been hospitalized. As you can see, I'm still alive and breathing. I have not died. And I feel fantastic. I feel great. The next point I just want to bring up about long-term intermittent fasting. So when I started my journey, I was 50 pounds heavier. I've lost that 50 pounds, and I'm basically, I've been able to maintain and keep it off. So I think intermittent fasting is a great tool to help maintain and to help keep weight off. My weight has fluctuated over the past decade or so. It'll go up and down 5 or 6 pounds, and no more than that. That's normal. But for the most part, I've been able to keep off the weight that I initially lost. And that's great. So intermittent fasting is a great tool for keeping the weight off, and you can do it if you're consistent with it. So that's one thing I've learned on my journey, that you can maintain your weight with it. It's a great tool for that. And the next thing I want to bring up is that with intermittent fasting, my brain works better. I don't have the mental fog I used to have back in the day. I've had jobs over the years where they're very detail oriented, and I have to use a lot of extreme focus. And I've been able to keep my focus. I'm more mentally sharp. My memory has gotten better. So my brain is just working great right now. So I think I can definitely attribute that to better nutrition and also to fasting. Fasting. I fast maybe 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week. It depends on the week. Some weeks I'm only fasting 2 days out of the week, or intermittent fasting 2 days out of the week. Some days I'll just maybe do OMAD, and that's 1 meal a day, once a week. So it depends on the week. And that goes back to, once again, listening to your body. If your body needs more food, feed it. If not, just keep going. Just keep going with the fast, So my brain works better. My mental health has improved. I don't have as many bouts of depression as I used to have. I'm not on any medications. All of that, I feel better about myself. I haven't had to deal with any depression. So it's been great. Mentally, my mental health has definitely improved. So that's one of the things that I believe I can attribute to intermittent fasting. Prior to that, I had struggled with depression. I had struggled with mental health, and it hasn't reoccurred as much since I've started my journey of intermittent fasting. So brain health, mental health, all of those have been, I can thank intermittent fasting for that. Also, I have more energy. I'm not a high energy person, but I have more energy now than what I had in my 20s. So I think that's great. And intermittent fasting and fasting in general will give you more energy. So I have more energy. The next thing I know for sure is that I am a healthier person. My last doctor's visit, my doctor, she said to me, it's like each year you're becoming healthier and healthier. And, I think it's the fasting. It's the fasting. It's the nutrition part. I mean, you just can't fast or intermittent fast and eat garbage. You're not going to get, the maximum benefit from it if you're eating trash and then fasting. So you have to, when you break your fast, you have to put the right foods in, and when you go into your fast, you have to put the right foods in. So eat well, eat whole foods, and you will see the great benefits of intermittent fasting. So I usually do 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of like an eating window when I am intermittent fasting. So that's basically how I do it. I do that 3 to 4 times a week, and it's been great. It's been great. So I'm definitely a healthier person. All of my biomarkers have improved. I don't have hypertension anymore. I don't have any chronic illnesses. I don't take any medications. And most of the people my age or in my family, they're taking medications for diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, all kinds of stuff. And I'm not on any of those things anymore, and I'm not at risk. For high cholesterol and for heart disease. I'm not at risk for those things anymore, and I just thank God for that. And I could definitely attribute that to intermittent fasting as well. And the last thing that I want to bring up is that I'm a more disciplined person. If you can master your stomach, you can master just about anything in your life. Any mountain or anything that you feel or habit that you think you need to break. If you begin to fast and adopt that as a lifestyle, you become a more disciplined person. And I've been able to apply that discipline from fasting to other areas of my life. And I definitely think I'm a better human being from it. It may sound dramatic, but for me, it's not, because fasting is a lifestyle for me. And I take a holistic approach to it. For me, it's just not abstaining from eating or juicing or something like that, or just drinking water. For me, I incorporate the spiritual part. I incorporate my soul. So I'm not just detoxing the body, I'm detoxing everything. So I can get the maximum benefit from fasting. So those are the things that I've learned along the way. I'm healthier, I'm happier, my brain is functioning better, I'm not sick anymore. I've lost weight. I've been able to keep the weight off. I mean, it's just a win-win thing with fasting, and with intermittent fasting in particular. I just feel better. I feel better now than I've ever felt in my life because I've adopted this lifestyle. So if you have any comments that you want to leave comments. If you're thinking about intermittent fasting, hey, let me know. We could talk about it together. Drop a comment. Let me know. So there's another thing I wanted to bring up about fasting with women. There are women, and some of us, we may have eating disorders, and I just want to point out, and that's another caution, just point out if you have struggled, and men have eating disorders too, don't want to leave out the men. If you struggled with an eating disorder, I wouldn't say don't intermittent fast, but if you're going to adopt intermittent fasting or fasting as a lifestyle, you have to have a healthy relationship with food, or at least try to develop one. When I first started, I did not have a healthy relationship with food. I wouldn't say I binged eat, but I ate a lot of the wrong things, and I had a sugar addiction, and I had to break that addiction, break it, and then start the lifestyle, and gradually over time just develop a healthy attitude toward food, having some self-control in that area, and that takes time. But if you're going to start intermittent fasting, just ease your way into it. Of course, see your doctor. Make sure that it's safe. Make sure you learn and try to learn and listen to your body, and enjoy the journey. It's a great journey to be on. It's a great journey to help maintain good health, and it's just all great things with it. So that's all I have to share for you, or with you, for today. I thank you for watching, and once again, if you have any comments about intermittent fasting or things you would like to share with me, drop me a comment. And until next time, be well, be blessed, and take care. Bye.